those topic features. I mean, yeah, let's talk about.
Stop
You know
it.
what today we're gonna go
Yo.
topics.
Roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
Hey, Kevin, do you want some lasagna?
Basically like a barrel.
I made lasagna.
What?
I made lasagna.
Who's Tanya?
What?
What?
Kevin, do you want some lasagna?
You stepped in what?
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 What? What?
I made lasagna.
Tomorrow is mañana.
What?
What's going on, guys? TGIF, it's Friday. The weekend is here, but we've got one more lunchtime learning session to you right now here on CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. And of course, all month long, we've been talking about important, relevant categories such as lighting and remote start. And that's what we're going to dive into even deeper today. Telematics has come a long way, and the accessibility, not only for the installers in the shops, but for the consumer. You know, the options are there, the technology is there, and it's important that you as a shop know what's available, because these are all fantastic options to be able to offer to your customer base. One set technology is called Carlink, and Carlink is produced by the company known as VOXX Electronics. It's a cellular, well, it's a long-distance control device that really enhances your experience and control over your remote car starter. And, you know, these days, everything is phone-based. So I have a little video I want to start off, kind of whet your appetite on what we're going to talk about today, as we have some special guests coming in from VOXX to talk to us all about Carlink, as well as FlashLogic, their series of digital T-harness car starter systems. So let's go to the video, and let's see what we're about to talk about today. So many features in such a short amount of time right there. I mean, from the functionality to the monitoring of the system to the long range control to so on and so forth. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and bring on our guest here. Of course, we've got the product manager over at VOXX, Mr. Daniel Bisceglia, which will be joining us. What's going on, Daniel? Good to have you back.
Hey, Ben. Thanks for having me.
And, you know, I can't do this without, you know, the Godfather himself of, you know, security. And you like that, Joe? That I've been saving that intro for you.
I love it.
Dentamaro, VP of... Man, why don't you go ahead and introduce it? It's so long, your title right now, with so many categories.
Yeah, so
security and
Vice President Vehicle Security, Telematics, and ADAS. So
Telematics and ADAS. Wow, that's a lot of products, Joe.
Yeah,
that's
well, you know, you got a good team behind you. You got that guy right above me there backing me up. So could do anything with a good group of people.
Absolutely. You guys have a fantastic team. So let's get into it. We're talking car starter season. We're talking about enhanced use and features through a device known as device/service, depending on how we look at it, from what I understand. That video showed us some key points of the advantages, the features, and the benefits. But I'm going to let you talk to us a little bit, Joe. Where are we at with this telematics thing? Is this? I know it's been out for about 2 years, I'd say roughly. Has it become something popular, and is it something that dealers are getting on board with, and are consumers asking for it?
Yeah, for sure. The telematics category, as you know, we've talked in previous sessions, and it's a very broad group of products. What we're talking about today in Carlink is more vehicle control. of your car. So it falls within that telematics category. But Carlink is a very exciting category for us. It's been around for a while. We've had many different versions of Carlink over the last decade. ASCL6, which is our cellular-based product, and then we have two what we call long-range telematics products. So we'll get into that a little deeper here, and Dan will take us through some of those features. But we set out a few years back, 4 or 5 years back, looking at telematics, and it's the interesting part about selling vehicle security and remote start and telematics. You're always looking for additional opportunities to upsell a consumer and to make their life, quite frankly, easier. Give them a value for what they're buying, and it's a natural for the remote start product, right? So you could have on a standard remote start 1,500 feet of range, a quarter mile, a half a mile range, different RF technologies and transmitters. But Carlink gives that consumer the ability to operate their remote start from virtually anywhere in the world, as long as they have cellular service. And it's great for people that travel. Myself travel all the time. As my plane's landing, and I could turn my phone back on, I could start my car out in the parking lot. So it's a real cool product. One of the issues that have obviously came up along the way is you sell a customer a remote start, $300-400. You sell a customer an interface module, another $150, and then you get to talking to them about telematics, and it sounds great until you say it's $79 a year, $89 a year, $120 a year for service.
That monthly thing, it just
when you hit that guy with another monthly bill on top of the phone, the electric, the mortgage, the cable,
the Disney Plus,
right? Some people may push back a little bit. So that took us down a path, and we've tried many different versions of this without a monthly or annual fee. The original version was a totally Bluetooth product. So you would get Bluetooth operating range from your smartphone, but you're limited to range of Bluetooth, 100 feet, right? So that really wasn't a desirable feature for a consumer or for a dealer. But then we hooked up with some people. We had some patents with some other companies that we developed with. We developed and patented a specific transmitter. So we came up with Carlink Long Range. And, this is a Bluetooth and a LoRa long range operating together product that gives you the ability to operate your Carlink, so lock, unlock, start the car, from over a mile range without any monthly or annual fee. So that was a great compliment for those customers that really wanted the convenience of using their phone to control the vehicle, but not with the investment of the monthly or annual fee. And in a lot of cases, it was like telematics or control on training wheels for a consumer. Once they got it, played around with it, liked it, then it was an easy step for them to go up to cellular as an additional, come back, upgrade it, go to cellular then, and pay the annual fee because they enjoyed it so much. So
just a comment on that. I know people that do pay the monthlies because they value that feature for whatever their lifestyle or work purposes are. I think there's an absolute need for it. I want to be clear. This is not saying that it's replacing because there's a need for that service and that, and they don't mind paying that extra fee.
Absolutely.
But what you're referring to is, Joe Blow, who just wants a little bit longer range, whether he's at his office or at a restaurant, whatever it may be. Maybe where he parks his condo is a little bit far from a regular, range type of situation. And just to be clear, no monthly fee on that.
Right.
Unit,
or he may be a customer that doesn't want to carry a remote control on his keychain. And, we have solutions for that, we have a transmitter version and we have our patented credit card version as well. But, we'll talk a little bit about that in a second when Dan gets into it. But
very, very cool. So
yeah, it's all about, we're really big on options for our dealer and for the customer. So a lot of offerings within all of our categories, but there's trying to give everybody something that they need.
It's like the evolution of telematics, if you will, right? You just described it right there. It started with that cell phone based product, and you tried the Bluetooth and limits with the range of Bluetooth, and then you went to this LoRa hybrid Bluetooth system. And again, when you have something like that where the price is not that far off from just you can actually start there, include it in a top-down kind of selling scenario where here's your package, right? You get the long range, you've got your T-harness, you've got your system all set up, here's the price, and then start from there. And at that point, the customer, I didn't realize it was going to be that much. Oh, okay, no problem. We could take away the long range. Whoa, hold on. That top-down selling, I feel, I'm going to keep on saying this every time we're talking to remote starters, I feel there's too many people advertising the $199 remote start, special. We don't need to be advertising specials right now, guys. We need to be offering premium service and products that maybe the consumers don't know about. It's your job to let them know about it. So,
yeah. And Dan does a really good job in the trainings that we do, talking about the long range product, because it comes with a transmitter as the repeater. And again, we'll get into exactly what all that means. But Dan goes through that in his trainings and shows the dealer how they could have like a starter without RF and use the RF, the one button transmitter that comes with it, or the credit card transmitter that comes with it, as a one button transmitter, or your smartphone. So it's a really I think well thought out training and exercise that Dan goes through with that. So
Dan does a good job with that stuff. I know I learned a lot.
That's absolutely.
All right. Let's get into it. Dan, would you like us to bring up the presentation so we can go through this?
Yeah, please. We'll go through all the product offerings. And if you have any questions, please jump in wherever you feel the need.
Yeah, we've got some audience members paying attention here. So let's get into it.
So as Joe mentioned, we have a couple different offerings in Carlink. This year, we're promoting all three. We have two versions of the long-range product, the ASCL BTLR and the CLLRCC. Biggest difference is in the transmitter offering there. The first one we're going to talk about, though, is the ASCL6. This is the fully cellular Carlink system, and it offers cellular connection between your phone and the vehicle. So as Joe had mentioned before, this is virtually unlimited range as long as you have internet connection on your phone and you have an internet connection wherever you park your car. You'll be able to control your vehicle, connect with it, and also you can locate the vehicle if ever needed. So the biggest thing with control here, we can lock, unlock, we can remote start, we can stop the car, and we also give you the ability to control 4 different auxiliaries. So if we tap a little auxiliary button here at the bottom of the screen, a menu slides up, and we have 4 auxiliary controls. So let's say we do a custom installation on a vehicle. You can control those auxiliaries to roll the windows up and down, to control some type of lighting on the vehicle. If you install this in a van for a family, they can open the left or right power sliding door on the vehicle as well, all through their smartphone app. With the Connect features, you can get a lot of information back from the vehicle. So we have a cellular connection. We can launch the app. Every time we launch the app, it's going to check in with the vehicle and get its status. So it's going to report if the doors are locked or unlocked. That's a really great feature. You can check the app to see if you remember to lock your doors when you walked away. We also know as soon as we launch the app if we have a connection with the vehicle. We have a little cellular connection icon here on the screen. If it's green, you're good to go. You know when you press that button, it's going to send that command to the vehicle and the vehicle is going to perform it. And then we also get a battery voltage readout as well. So if you install this in your vehicle and the vehicle sits for a long period of time, say in the garage or in the driveway, you can always check in on that battery to see if the battery voltage is staying up. That way you can catch it before it actually dies. A couple other things we can do here is we can authorize users to control the vehicle. And when we authorize a user, we're sending an invitation to them. They're creating their own Carlink account, and then they're allowed to go in and lock and unlock and control the vehicle. It's really great for teenage drivers. If you're lending somebody the vehicle for a little while, you can grant them control. And then you can also revoke that control at any time. So you can go in there and you can delete their access without having to change any of your primary admin account access, passwords, nothing like that. So it's a really great feature for teenage drivers.
Or a nasty prank. I'm sorry, I keep on thinking about it.
I always like to say, you let little Jimmy drive the car on the weekend and he missed curfew. Now he can't have access to
walk home.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry, before we continue, guys, I thought there's something super important that we might have missed here. This is a device that could be compatible with many, if not all, remote starter systems on the market, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only is it compatible with all of the VOXX remote starters out there, including FlashLogic that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, it's also compatible with all of the directed digital remote starts that are out there. So your DS4s, your DS3s, if you have an older 4X10 or 5X10, it's compatible with all of those products. It's compatible with iDataStart and CompuStar, as well as all the Omega brand offerings, Excalibur, Crime Stopper, and all of those. So you
Very nice.
Ideally have one telematics solution for the multiple brands that you may carry in your store.
Regardless of what you installed maybe to that customer's vehicle before, they can come back and you can add this to their vehicle to enhance their experience. Awesome.
Exactly. Or if a customer comes in, maybe you didn't do that install, but the remote start stopped working, so they came to you. Now you have the potential to sell them into a Carlink control system.
And that scenario, I would pull the line. Oh, you mean your previous dealer didn't tell you about this? Oh, well, let me tell you about this. We're going to inform you properly.
Right. And then the last feature of the cellular device is location. Mm-hmm. So we give you the ability to locate the vehicle anywhere in the world. It uses GPS to locate the vehicle, so it's accurate within 3 meters. And we call it vehicle locate specifically because you press the button, you get a location. It's not a historical vehicle tracker. It doesn't give you trips or breadcrumbs. But if you need to find out where the car is, you can click a button and you can find it out. It's also completely unlimited. So if you're keeping an eye on your teenage driver and making sure they're going where they say they're going, you can press that button 1,000 times in a day and you'll always get a new updated location. And then the last feature we've added in the last 12 months or so is Alexa and Google voice control. So now through the Alexa skill or the Google skill, you can lock, unlock, remote start your car, and you can control all 4 of those auxiliaries that we talked about earlier as well. So if you're getting ready in the morning, you can say, Alexa, start my car, and she's going to start that car for you. And if you have multiple vehicles with Carlink devices in them, you can even call out the vehicle by name. So let's say you drive a Ford and you also drive a Jeep. You can say, Alexa, start my Jeep. And she knows to start that vehicle specifically. It's very cool.
I'm going to say then that would mirror then in the application where you can have multiple vehicles under the same profile and the same control then, right?
Exactly. You can have all the vehicles located in what we call the garage. And you can customize those names in the garage so that you can use the voice controls properly.
Nice.
And then a feature that's been around for a little while that's strictly for our dealer base. So this is not a consumer-facing feature. This is what we call My Branded App. What this does is it allows the dealer to customize the background skin of the application so that every time their customer launches the app to control their car, they're seeing their store logo right there on the app. So in this image, we have sound effects in Delaware. Brian Layton's a really good friend of ours. He let me use his logo here. We have this customized for his store. So any of his customers that buy Carlink are going to have his skin. And then another really cool thing is that we allow you to send a notification directly to the customer's app once every 30 days so that you can communicate promotions and sales or even events directly to your Carlink customers. And it shows up as a pop-up or a notification, just like any other notification you would get on your phone, text message, Facebook message, etc.
Yeah, so one of the cool features here, Ben, and you touched on it a little bit earlier about the application for Carlink to work on the various manufacturers' remote starts, whether it's, CompuStar, Omega, directed, whatever. So this gives you the ability, you're putting this on a CompuStar system, for example. You don't have to go with CarLink. Why would you? Don't promote CarLink. Promote your store. Promote SoundFX. It's not the brand CarLink. It's SoundFX, and it gives the retailer, the dealer, the ability to offer additional promotions.
Hold on, gentlemen. I got a lot to talk about here. So this is really, really next level. Retail shops, first of all, they're so busy anyhow. But we're talking about a white label solution to communicate with your customers that has branding, that keeps you in contact with them, because you said that we have the ability to reach out via a message through the app once a month. So this is like an opted-in customer. You're not spamming them. You're keeping in touch with them. This is part of the deal. The most important thing is it keeps you top of mind. And what does that mean, top of mind? It's a marketing term that many people use, but if they're pressing, going to that app and starting their car, they're seeing your logo, subconsciously in the background, no matter how many times they press it. This is free advertising, right? I mean,
there's absolutely no cost to the dealer for this or service.
And you have many options of backgrounds. You could put, and that is the actual logo. I'm not familiar with sound effects, but is that the actual sound effects logo, or is just like a? So you can import your actual logo.
Your actual logo, yeah.
Right. Correct. So this is not just like a generic font that you choose and you type your name. You can actually import your logo and match everything, the background, the color, so on and so forth.
Yep.
What an amazing tool. I know if I had a shop, I'd be all over this, because to be able to communicate with our customers after sales, and also to be in their face, regularly, as well as being able to communicate with them just to keep you in touch and to be, again, top of mind, is invaluable for future business. So
also, a part of the My Branded app is that there's a section in the app that we call the storefront. So all of the store's information is stored there. If the customer ever needs you, they can go to the storefront section. They can find your phone number, give you a call. Any information that you put there, Facebook page, Instagram, address, it's automatically going to launch those apps, and it's going to direct them right into the store page, which is really great. Somebody is showing a friend or a family member their CarLink system. They want to know where they can get one. Go right in the storefront app, and you can send them the phone number. So all of the information is there right at their fingertips.
No charge for the retailer.
No.
None.
Wow. Okay, that's it. Very cool.
So did you have any questions before we moved on from cellular to the long range product?
Yeah, the cellular thing. If you could go back a few slides about the locator, I have two questions about the locator.
Yes.
Yes. So is this real time live, or is there a delay to this?
It is not live tracking. You can't see the vehicle move along.
No, I mean, like, if I'm getting your location, I want to know where you are, done. I want to know your car's in the parking lot of the VOXX building. Was that from now, or is that from like 10 minutes ago?
That's from the time you press the button.
Gotcha.
So you press the button, you get a location at that time. If you go back 5 minutes later, you press the button, you're going to get a location at that time.
Okay, because I know there are more advanced, more expensive systems that obviously is live tracking, breadcrumbs, the whole nine. This is not that. This is a basic telematic. Hey, where's my vehicle? Click.
Exactly. And
okay,
what we found as Joe and everybody were talking with our dealers and customers is that most people don't really need to know where the vehicle was all day. We have products for that. A lot of people just want to be able to find the vehicle when they need to. They want to make sure that, it's still parked at the airport while they're on vacation, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The locate feature is call it a bonus feature of CarLink. The meat and potato feature of this product is obviously controlling the vehicle, locking the doors, unlocking doors, and obviously starting the car. That's
the other question I had is, can you program that application to send you notifications for anything? Example, temperature shifts or anything of that nature?
No, you cannot.
Okay.
It doesn't do any type of notification. We do report in the app what the temperature of the vehicle is based on location. Right. So, for example, if your vehicle's parked in Detroit, you're going to get the air temperature in Detroit.
Gotcha.
That way, if you're traveling, you can always get the temperature of wherever the vehicle is.
Gotcha. Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you.
And then the last thing before we move on, I just want to make sure everybody knows too that when you buy a CarLink and you sell it or you sell it to your customer, the first year of service is included with the purchase.
Very nice.
So
good incentive.
Yeah, the annual fee objection, we can kind of get over that hump a little bit because we're giving them a year of service for free. So they can try it out, they can do all of the features, and then we don't have multiple plans that include locate or don't include locate. It's one plan for the year after the first year.
That makes it more simple too to explain.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You don't have 3 different levels or silver, gold, platinum kind of situation.
Right.
All right.
So the next product.
I'm sorry. I had one more question. You just Can you go back one more slide?
Yes, sir.
You mentioned Alexa and Google and Google.
Mm-hmm.
Do these features also work for Alexa and Google enabled smartwatches? Tough question.
So
I'm asking.
I can't comment on the Alexa part of it. I can comment on the Google part of it. On certain smartphones, the Google Voice and Google Home Control is built into the phone. So if it's built into the phone, you can use these voice controls on your phone. You can, for example, say, okay, Google, start my car, and it'll start your car using the Carlink system. If that feature, Google Home, is not built into your smartphone because it's not built into every phone, you cannot do that.
Gotcha. So it's not a black and white thing. Depends on the device that you're using.
Right. The Alexa controls on the smartphone itself, you can have Alexa on your smartphone, but it still requires you to tap the button within the app. Mm-hmm. So in that case, you might as well just bring up the Carlink app and press the start button.
Gotcha.
Apple Watch works. It works on Apple Watch too.
Yeah, we have an Apple Watch app for Carlink Cellular as well, so you can just open the app on your watch and start your car.
Oh, so it does work with Apple Watch. Okay,
correct.
Cool, perfect.
All right,
we can continue.
So the next product is the Carlink Long Range that Joe had mentioned earlier. Joe, do you want to talk about this before I get into it?
Yeah, just a little bit about it. So really the thing here is basically all the same features as Carlink Cellular, obviously without cellular. So this is a product designed to the app on your phone talks to a transmitter, which we'll call the repeater, via Bluetooth. So those two devices need to be about 150 feet within each other. And then the transmitter or the repeater then talks to the car via LoRa long range. So we get well over a mile range. But again, the beauty there is no monthly or annual fee. So you can use the same app, lock the door, unlock the door, start the car, get all that functionality with no monthly or annual fee, all from your smartphone. Then we made it, available in 2 different configurations, one with a credit card and one with a 1-button transmitter. So you ask, why would you do that? So both of them act as a transmitter. Even the credit card has a button on it that you can press and operate as a transmitter. But for some people, like myself, I don't like a bunch of stuff on my keychain. So I would use the credit card and either put it in my wallet, a sleeve on the back of the phone, anything like that, and use that type of device. Or, as Dan mentions in the trainings, you could use the 1 button, put it on your keychain, use the transmitter as a regular transmitter, but also use your smartphone. So
when you say transmitter, you mean the button on the credit card or the remote also starts the vehicle?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. Absolutely. So again, Dan, you can go through these features, but I think we also have a slide that shows that up. I just want to be clear on, whenever we use the word Bluetooth, everybody just kind of shuts off because they think it's 100 feet. But that's not Bluetooth is not used to control the vehicle. Bluetooth is just used from your smartphone to the transmitter to communicate. So again,
it's a 2-step communication process. Phone to transmitter, transmitter to car. The transmitter to car is LoRa. The phone to transmitter is Bluetooth.
Correct.
Which makes sense because if you have your wallet in your pocket, obviously it's within Bluetooth range, or if it's in your purse or whatever, you're within Bluetooth range. The one time that might, I guess if you leave your purse at the door right? And you might be too far from the purse with your phone. That might be, but you have to be pretty far for that not to work. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
So this slide here is a really good visualization of everything Joe had just talked about, and the range between the phone and what we call the transmitter or repeater, and then the range between there and the vehicle. So I like to break this down in a couple different parts, just so it's a little bit easier for everybody to understand. And I usually start with the one button transmitter first. So the first thing is, this is a fully capable one button, two-way LED confirming rechargeable transmitter. So this is LoRa long range to the vehicle. So over a mile worth of range, we get all of our two-way confirmation back via LED, including alarm triggers. So if you have a vehicle where you're installing this with an alarm, you get alarm notifications on your remote as well. So the fully capable rechargeable one button transmitter. And then as long as your phone is within the 150 feet of the transmitter, you can get all of that two-way notification and control, do everything right there on your smartphone. So I like to give the example of, you walk in your house every day, you hang your keys on the hook by the door. As long as you're within 150 feet, you can start the car on your smartphone. If your phone's on the charger in your bedroom and you just happen to be closer to the remote, grab the keys off the hook, press the button on the remote, and you can remote start your car. So we have a couple different ways of looking at it. And then, as Joe mentioned, not everybody wants to carry a transmitter on their keychain or bulk up their keys. So we do offer the credit card remote. This is still a fully capable two-way LED confirming transmitter. It's got a small button on it, and you can operate it the same way that you do the keychain transmitter. It's also rechargeable. It's got a small charging port here at the top so that you can recharge it whenever needed. So same thing applies. The phone is on the charger. You have your wallet in your pocket. You can pull your credit card remote out and start the car if you need to.
Can I ask a question, Joe?
Yep.
You're using the credit card. How long before you need to recharge?
It's I mean, it could obviously, depending on use. I've gone 6 months before mine went dead. Yeah.
Okay, this is not like a weekly charge kind of thing.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
And these do have lithium ion batteries in it. And the good thing about lithium ion is, anybody who has ever owned a lithium ion drill battery knows that it works until it doesn't. So you're going to get max performance out of it until the battery is almost fully depleted, which is really good. With traditional batteries, most people know that as the battery is depleted, your range starts to decrease. But with lithium ion, you don't see that. Another interesting way that you can look at this, instead of trying to explain that you need this and this to transmit to the vehicle, I've even suggested selling this as a transmitter solution, and then it comes with a free two-way confirming app. So you can have a long-range one-button transmitter, and then you can get all of your two-way notifications on your phone as well. So it's kind of a free app that comes along with the one button. So you have different ways of looking at it. This is also really great in rural communities where you may not have great cell phone coverage. You can still lock, unlock, remote start your car as long as you're within the range over a mile.
Are you reading my notes, Daniel? I was just about to say, the cell phone is great. Like I said, I have friends that use it, business travelers, so on and so forth. I live in the country. Spotty cell service at best. What a great option if you're in the rural areas, that you can still benefit from high technology like this without depending on cellular service. So,
right.
Yeah.
Did we have any other questions on this system?
I'm good. I mean, I think Joe did a really good job explaining in real time what that's all about. The technology is, for me, I think my wife would like the button because she likes buttons. And I would definitely take the credit card and leave that in my wallet and never, ever touch it. But see, for me, I don't need all the features necessarily that the cell phone bases. I can see why people do. This would be it for me. It's exactly what I want. I do everything on my phone. So, yeah, I think I honestly feel like this is something that should be just included standard in any remote starter install, and then take it away if they don't want it. I really feel that way. The more I hear myself say it.
Yeah, a lot of people like two-way confirming, especially in Canada. We sell a lot of two-way confirming remotes. And some of those remotes, especially LCD screens and rechargeable remotes, can be very bulky.
They're so huge.
Yeah, you have another basically key fob on your keychain, and that can be really bulky in your pocket. So with this option, you can have a small one button or a credit card in your wallet, and you get all the same features and functions that you would get on your LCD transmitter, except it's all on your phone instead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I don't want to get into specific dealer pricing and things like that, but generally speaking, I think that's a brilliant point that you guys both just brought up. If you look at anybody's two-way LCD product, from quarter mile range to half mile range to even LoRa range two-way LCD RF kits that you would add to a starter, the Carlink long range kit is going to be less expensive to the dealer and the consumer than a two-way LCD transmitter kit. So, that's an incredible value.
Yeah, I order my Tim Hortons and groceries with my phone. I think I'd rather. Anyways, okay, that's another discussion, neither here or there. But if it's less, then even more reason for what I'm trying to say that you should just bundle it included.
Yeah,
right. Okay, very cool.
So that's all we have for you on Carlink today, and then we're going to jump into our next subject, which is FlashLogic.
One more thing before we jump into this part. I'm going to ask both of you this one. What do you see next? This is still kind of new technology. Do you forecast any, something new? What's coming down the pipe for this lane of telematics and car starters?
Yeah, so we talked about that a little bit on our last telematics call. Obviously, for VOXX, all inclusive in the category, telematics, digital remote start are two very important categories for the VOXX group, for my group of security remote start group. So yes, a lot of technology there. The smart view or the dash cam view through telematics, I think is probably the next big thing you'll see out of us when it comes to telematics. And we shared the load there. We'll do another episode on that. Okay. But Joe Caltabiano, one of my coworkers who handles our mobile video side, will head up that project. But again, that's the latest offering, that addition to telematics that will add to it. So I think that'll be really cool next step in telematics.
All right, thank you, Joe. FlashLogic is digital. It's T harnesses. Just add to the what's the word I'm looking for here? I'll call it crazy offering that VOXX has in this category. Let's be honest, between Audio VOXX, Prestige, and Directed, there's a lot going on. So I'm excited to know what makes the FlashLogic stand out in the catalog.
Yeah, so, again, and obviously with the acquisition of Directed, and, we have our lanes and our channels of distribution that we do. And, I've mentioned this several times, not only on these episodes, but wherever I go and talk about the category. We want to be a leader in this digital remote start revolution, if you will, or growth. And I think that the value for VOXX here is exactly that. We have the best of both worlds now, right? So we have our Directed DS4 DB3s, that whole category of product, and the FlashLogic product, which it's no secret is powered by ADS and was the VOXX digital remote start solution prior to us acquiring Directed. So we continue that tradition here on the VOXX side with we have several different products within the FlashLogic brand, the VOXX FlashLogic brand. We have the FLRS BA, which is our all-in-one digital remote start and security system. We do things just a little bit differently than some of the other ADS versions of that. Even here, we have an onboard tilt and shock sensor that come with the product. So we really play up that security side of it. We have the standard interface modules, which is our FL CAN, our FLTB1, those types of product interfaces that you would add to a analog remote start product. Some specialized Volkswagen and Mercedes and BMW remote start products. And then one of the highest volume products that we have in the FlashLogic side, we call them data start modules, and they're vehicle-specific remote start modules for a select group of cars with a T-harness.
Those are problem solvers.
Yeah, especially for our Expediter core, that they, really, add to sell them as OEM remote start systems operating from the 3x lock from the OEM keyless entry transmitter. Great additions. You could add, obviously, Carlink and products like that to it. You could extend the range with RF kits. So, again, it's within our digital scope of products, digital remote start products, and a pretty good offering, right? So,
very, very cool. Let's get into it.
Dan could. This is, it's his baby, so it's. I'll let him go through all the features of it and go through it, but it's a great product.
Dan, let's get our learn on, buddy.
Yeah, so the top of the line module we have in FlashLogic is the FLRS BA. This is an all-in-one digital remote start. It's high current and it also has low current outputs. And based on firmware, it's smart enough to know which ones you need to use. So, it's new installer proof, we like to call it. So if you hand this to an installer that doesn't have a lot of experience, he's not going to be able to use the low current remote start installation when he really needs the high current. It's going to shut those outputs off. As Joe mentioned, this does have an onboard digital tilt and shock sensor. So everything is on board. There's nothing outboard that you would have to add to this to give a customer full security. It's compatible with, I think, over 21 different T-harness applications now, covering thousands of vehicles. So you can do the installation hardwired, or you can speed it up and do it with a T-harness, which really makes this product convenient. It's compatible with all of our RF kits at VOXX. So all of our Prestige kits, some of the code alarm kits we have available, and also all of the Carlink Telematics products as well. So this is a fully loaded all-in-one system. This is a great part to have on your shelf for every vehicle that comes through your door.
Very, very good. You just mentioned something that made me think. You said this is obviously also compatible with the Carlink. Can you tell us how that works? How is the connectivity between the Carlink and this device or any other device?
So the Carlink has a digital serial output that can plug into any one of our remote start modules. So we have what we call a telematics port on the compatible remote start modules, as well as this FLRS BA. So in most cases, with any of the VOXX product, it is just strictly a single connection between the telematics module and the remote start module. So
Gotcha.
One plug plugs in, very easy to use.
Okay.
Next up is a Mercedes-Benz and BMW specific remote start module. So these cars are a little bit more difficult to work on, so we have a module specific for them. Similar to the FLRS BA, it's a one module solution. So the compatible BMW and Mercedes-Benz vehicles, you have one module to grab off your shelf. You don't have multiple different kits. We do have different T-harnesses for this, and the T-harness is absolutely required for installation. You cannot do the installation without it.
So this, when Dan mentioned a year or so ago, these were 5 different complete kits within the FlashLogic lineup. So there was a BM1, a BZ1, etc., that had the harness and the specific module all in one box. Obviously, that changed now. So the control module is separate from the expansion pack with T-harness. When you put both of those together, it was the same price as the full kit was prior to that. So we just tried to make it a little easier to manage by stocking one module that could work
inventory-wise, right? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. We have one BMW T-harness, and then we have 4 different Mercedes-Benz T-harnesses, depending on the vehicle, year, make, and model. All of these applications are available at flashlogic.com. So if you put in the vehicle information, it'll tell you which T-harness is compatible, so you know which one to grab off the shelf. One thing I do want to note here, we don't have a lot of new applications for these being developed, but they are solid working applications for some of the older BMW and Mercedes vehicles. Some of the vehicles that haven't changed for a while, like the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, we have some of the newer model years available for application here.
Wicked.
And then we also have a VW and Audi specific control module. The cool thing about this module is it has a chip that's on board that can clone the VW or Audi key. So in prior years, if you were doing a remote start with this, you would have to take one of the customer's keys, you'd have to install it with the remote start and do what we call a key wrap. This module, when compatible with the vehicle, allows you to make a copy of that key and store it right on the control module. So now that customer doesn't have to give up their $200, $300, or $400 key to get a remote start installed in their vehicle. We do have T-harnesses. And just like the Mercedes-Benz and BMW, the T-harness is absolutely required here. We have one for Audi, and then, one for VW and 2 for Audi. And we even have some Porsche applications available as well.
Very, very clutch with that key cloning feature, and really important for all those Euro car specialists out there, for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever challenged anybody? Is it because it's physically not possible to do a hardwire, or is it just ridiculously over the top complicated?
A lot of these modules are in hard to get to locations. A lot of the wires that you're connecting to are very thin wires. So rather than damage anything in the vehicle, it's all designed around a T-harness. That way you can quickly do the installation and get onto the next car.
Perfect.
We will do a challenge one day.
I was just getting to that. I wonder if we should challenge an installer out there.
You know, it's funny. We've talked about this for years. If you've ever gone to SEMA and attended the SEMA show, right out in front, and every year I go, I walk past it and I get the same excitement about it. They have a contest, a challenge with a bunch of mechanics ripping engines down and rebuilding them, and as fast as they could do that. And it's always excited me. I've always been a car guy. And we've talked about doing the same thing at whether it's Knowledge Fest or another one of the shows of doing a contest on how fast you can put a T-harness remote start in. But, you know, it's just been time and getting things done. But one day we'll do it. It'll be fun.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And the last set of products we're going to talk about here are what Joe had mentioned, we call the data start modules. These are vehicle specific plug and play remote starts. Everything you would need is included in one box. So the FLRS BA, the Mercedes-Benz module, and the VW module, they're all modules with the T-harness sold separately. These kits are module and T-harness all in one box, ready to go for easy installation. They are compatible with the factory remote control. So right out of the box, you can press lock 3 times on the factory remote control and you can start the vehicle. They're also compatible with all of our RF solutions as well as Carlink. So you can add long range remote start capabilities as well as cellular or telematics remote start capabilities to these remote start modules. They are vehicle specific. We have 3 kits for Chrysler. We have 3 kits for GM. And then we have 1 for Ford. So all of these applications are available on the FlashLogic website. So make sure you punch in your vehicle information and it'll tell you which one of these modules is compatible. It's a really great low cost T-harness installation that you can have in your store.
Perfect. Great for fleet guys too.
Yeah, absolutely. Fleet, Expediter, any of those guys that work on a lot of vehicles in a day, It really speeds up installation and gets them onto the next car. And then we talked about with the VW module that specific chip that allows you to clone the key and store the information on the module. This part here is basically that little clone chip in a standalone box. This is great for anybody that maybe doesn't want to use the FlashLogic branded remote start like the VW kit we have. And this module is compatible with any brand remote start out there. So if you're a Viper dealer, you're installing a Viper two-way security remote start, you can use this and do the key cloning, which is great. And again, it's compatible with all the different brands. So Prestige, any of the directed brands, CompuStar, whoever you're using in your store, you have a bypass solution for it.
Yeah, great for if you're using an analog starter. So,
right. So like the code alarms or whatever else. Yeah, gotcha.
And then we just wanted to quickly show all of the different RF offerings we have in the Prestige lineup. We have everything from LoRa LCD, rechargeable LCD, and then all the way down to a single one-button transmitter. So we have every transmitter offering to fit every budget or need.
And to be clear, none of those kits come with any RF, right?
That's correct.
Yep. None of the FlashLogic kits, correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay.
RF is sold separately.
All right.
And that's all we have for you in the product offering.
Awesome. Thank you for preparing that, Daniel. So we're out of time. We've learned a lot on this session. We went through Carlink, the LoRa options, both with the credit card as well as the single button. The fact that it is compatible with pretty much every remote car starter system out there through a data port that you told us about, Daniel. And to really let customers know that this is an offering. And I made comment to maybe this is something you just include as your all-inclusive package, that doesn't require a monthly fee. And I think that's kind of key. So I'm going to leave that with you, Joe. What message do you have for dealers after this discussion that we've had today?
I agree with you, Ben. I think it's a great offering. I think, educating the people still on the long range solution, not necessarily cellular only, giving them options. It's all about options and fitting needs. So, again, I think you hit it right on the head. It's a great add-on product.
Absolutely. And switching quickly to the FlashLogic digital solution, you've got the key wrap accessory to go with it. T harnesses, certain systems are separate where you have to choose the right T harness with the unit, or you have these application specific ones that you noticed. Daniel, where can dealers go to get more information and look for all the applications?
All the applications are available at flashlogic.com. Right there on the homepage, we have the vehicle input. So you put in your make, model, and trim, and it will report back with you with all of the compatible FlashLogic remote start modules. Awesome.
I just want to remind everybody in Canada and anywhere else who's tuning in, if you want more information on Carlink and FlashLogic products, go check out VOXXelectronics.com. All right. Guys, can't thank you enough for taking the time today. It's perfect timing because obviously it's about to get cold, unfortunately, as you guys know. And when that happens, well, remote car starter season's here, and we're pretty much on the cusp of it. So on that, I wish you guys a great weekend, and thank you for taking time with us today.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks, Ben.
Take care now.
Okay.
There you have it, guys. VOXX Electronics, Daniel Bisceglia, as well as Joe Dentamaro. We talked about Carlink. We talked about FlashLogic, some great options going into the season. Thanks for everybody tuned in. I know this, everybody tunes in live. If you watch it on demand, great information. And I'm telling you, that long range option is going to satisfy a lot of consumers' needs. Just make sure you mention it and educate your customer to know that that is available. That's it for me here on CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. It's been a great week. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. We'll be right back next week with 3 more Connected on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On that note, I hope everybody has a great weekend. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.